So today we're doing My Life in Movies tag.
Ignition sequence start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So today we've been doing the My Life in Movies tag. We were tagged by Stephen Higgins. We'll put his channel in the description. We're not being tagged by anyone else, and we're still yet to decide who we'll tag, so we'll tell you at the end.
Yeah.
We're going to jump straight into it because it's like 14 questions long. So the first question is called First Steps, and it's the first film you remember seeing as a kid. So the first film I remember seeing as a kid is Small Soldiers, which is a film where action figures come to life and they start fighting. It's like the Gorgonites versus, I can't remember the other people. I'll put a picture on the screen of the artwork for the film. And I also remember watching Commando a lot as well, which is the 80s action film with Arnold Schwarzenegger in. So yeah, I had an eventful childhood.
The first film I remember watching, well, obviously I remember a bunch of Disney films because I was a Disney child, but the main film I remember watching was The Grinch, because even when it wasn't Christmas I used to play it over and over and over and over again, and I think my parents kind of hated it. The second question is teenage crush, so an actor or an actress that you had a crush on when you was like younger. Mine was Josh Hutcherson, and no, not because he's in the Hunger Games. I don't even like the Hunger Games that much, no offence. Because I used to watch a lot of films that he was in when he was younger, like Zathura, which most people probably don't even know what that is. Journey to the End of the Earth, or yeah, that's Zathura. Just a lot of films that he was younger in, and if I had to pick someone I had a crush on, then probably him.
I can't really think of one off the top of my head, but the main person I remember like seeing and having a crush on was Angelina Jolie in Gone in 60 Seconds. Just because like being as a kid I was raised a lot around like cars and like racing and that, and she was like an attractive woman that likes cars and that, so it's kind of like a childhood dream.
Yeah.
Third question is bad choices, which is movies you expected to hate but you ended up enjoying. There's not many movies where I've actually like expected to hate them, like
Or
that I want to hate
them.
A lot of them I've like, oh, I don't think I'd be into that type of film, which is the Alice in Wonderland by Tim Burton. I didn't think I'd be into that kind of film because I'm not really a huge Disney fan, like the musicals and that. It's not.
You didn't really grow up with the whole musical Disney.
I didn't grow up. I grew up more with Pixar and like Gone in 60 Seconds and more action type films, just because that would be what my mom was watching, so I'd go and watch a film with my mom.
Mine would be basically like flipped over the same things for us. Mine would be the Avengers or any superhero films. At first I couldn't stand the idea of even watching a superhero film because I was like, oh yeah, they're a superhero, then they have a girlfriend, they're about to die, but then he saves them, and then he's almost going to die, but then he lives. And he basically talked me into watching some films and actually really like the Avengers and Iron Man and all that stuff. So
And Ant-Man's one of her favourite Marvel films at the minute, so.
yeah. And Deadpool.
Yeah.
And Iron Man. Number 4 is First Date, so first film that you watched on a date.
We're not sure again if this was meant by at the cinema or at
Or
home
going to the movies.
or like anything like that, so you can answer yours first.
Well, I went by going to the cinema. I'm not sure which one was first, so I'll just say both. One was Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the first one. I suppose we was probably only old enough to go and see that, to be honest. And then the other one was Romeo and Juliet, which is, you know, clearly very romantic for an 11-year-old.
Well, I never really went on dates to cinemas. I wasn't the dating type of person, really. I didn't really get into relationships. I'd kept myself to myself. No, I just kept myself to myself, and I was just like, yeah, you know, I'm happy by myself. The film I can really think of that I watched first with a girl, which was movie 43, and I didn't even want to watch it. I just happened to, like, I came into the room and it was on, and it was the worst film I've ever sat through. I couldn't wait to go home. It was at the point where it got to the end, I was like, you know what, I'm going home. It was, you can tell where that relationship ended. But the first film that we watched together, which is what I'll count, is Deadpool.
Yeah.
We went and saw Deadpool on Valentine's Day when it came out. This number 5 is Home Comforts. What movies remind you of home? So mine, again, I'll repeat it again, is Gone in 60 Seconds or Days of Thunder. Those two films are films that I remember watching with my mum quite a lot. My dad, I haven't really watched many films with apart from FX, but the main films I remember is Gone in 60 Seconds because my mum used to love that film.
Oh, I just thought of another one. No, I did have Indiana Jones and like another kind of random film that me and my mum used to watch a lot, but Indiana Jones typically like it'd be not even a family night, like a Friday night. Indiana Jones, like a bunch of the films would be on the TV and everyone would just be downstairs eating Chinese food watching it. And I thought The Mummy as well, which you haven't watched. Movies that really upset you or made you cry or, yeah.
I don't have one. I've never really got... I've felt something for a film, like, oh, that's quite sad, but I've never got to the point where I've cried at a film.
I think I've cried at many films.
I don't know, I think Jason said the same. It's just that I haven't felt a film that's like, you know what, it's going to make me cry. Not because I'm heartless, it's just that I'm not really affected by films that much.
And again, I just had another like random thought. This was the one that I put down was Marley and Me because it's a dog and dogs make me sad. But then thinking about dogs was actually the first film that ever made me cry. Was again about dogs and a cat. Homeward Bound, I think it was called. And it was about two dogs and a cat, and they went on an adventure trying to find their owners when they already went on holiday, and they ended up getting lost. And yeah,
I've just thought.
I like dogs.
I just thought the only film that really I felt like, oh, that's quite sad, is the beginning of John Wick. If anyone's watched the first John Wick,
I've been told
what happens to the dog is really sad.
But
I didn't cry.
Everyone's like, if the dog dies, I'm crying.
I didn't cry, but it was a sad film. Leaving Home, the first movie you watch without your family. I don't remember what the first film is that I went and watched without my mum and dad, because I could technically say, oh, I went and watched Harry Potter with my auntie, but that's still technically family. I did go and see films at the cinema when I was a kid, like with the school, but I don't remember what those are. So the first film that I actually remember seeing in the cinema was Fast and Furious 6, but I don't remember any other films apart from that I've really seen in the cinema.
I haven't really seen close to any films without my family members, so I kind of just wrote down the film that I first watched without my parents, kind of, and that's White Chicks, as you can probably imagine. I think it was number 8, Good Times.
So this is your most watched movie, I think, that's what I've got anyway. My most watched movie can vary, but the one I'd probably say that I've watched the most is Hot Fuzz, which is a comedy that has the two main characters from Shaun of the Dead and from Paul. I'll post the picture. It's basically a police-based comedy in the UK, and just some of the things that happen are so outrageous, but it's incredibly funny.
Again, kind of two answers for this. One is the Tim Burton's Alice. I'm not very I haven't watched as many films as he's watched.
But then again,
I don't have a wide variety, but Alice or Nightmare Before Christmas, because those two I really have a very close part in my heart.
So number 9 is Learn a New Language. For this, we both haven't chose a film. Mine purely because I'm dyslexic and I can't read the subtitles. By the time I've caught up on one, the second one's come on, and then I'd fall that behind in the film. I'd still be basically at the beginning. Yeah. I'd have to slow it down and watch it scene by scene, so it'd take me forever. So that's why I've never really watched a film in a different language. But I did go and see a Japanese martial arts film in the cinema once. It was my dad got some free tickets. It was really bad budget, really bad film.
Really low budget.
It wasn't in English. We didn't know that it wasn't going to be in English. So we're sitting there and are we sure these scenes are supposed to just have subtitles? And we walked out halfway through. But that was because we couldn't read it, we couldn't understand it. Nothing against anyone who has an interest in other films in a different language. I'd love to be able to do it. It's just physically impossible for me to do it.
Yeah, with me it's not basically just because I'm really lazy and I don't want to spend my whole time trying to watch a film while I'm going to have to read every single thing that everyone's saying instead of really paying attention to anything. Same with when I used to be really into anime. I still kind of am, but I haven't found anything new to watch. It had to be English dubbed, because I couldn't deal with subtitles. I wouldn't be able to pay attention.
Number 10 is Can't Leave the Sofa, which is a series that we binge watched or watched basically.
Got us into like never wanting to like miss an episode.
Which for both of us is The Walking Dead, because that was the first, for me it was the first TV show that I watched from the start.
Yeah.
I watched the first season on DVD, the first two, and then I started watching on TV from season 3. So I watched it from the beginning essentially. But the ones that I did binge watch were Flash and Arrow. Flash was just finished its first season, and Arrow was going on to its 4th season, and I binge watched 4 seasons of both Arrow and Flash in a month.
With me with The Walking Dead, I actually, my parents would be downstairs watching, like, I think it was even the first season.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I'll try and watch this, and I just like, I think I just kept going on my phone, and I just wasn't interested in it whatsoever. And then as the years went on, I think it might have been season 4 was in the making or something like that, or was like running, when me and my like ex-partner basically had to catch up with everything, and that's when I started to watch it, and then I finally got to the TV part where we had to wait.
Number 11, which is Sick Days. What movies do you watch to cheer you up? To me, it's a film that I can drift in and out on if I'm really ill and I'm like sleeping a lot. I'll put a film on that I've like watched loads before, that I can just drift in and out on, or if I'm like busy I can just walk in and out and I know what's happening.
In the background.
So I've got quite a few, which is The Kingsman. I've watched loads of times. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which I know Jimmy Ayres actually says that for quite a lot. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, or any of the Marvel films. But I do like watching the old like Commando film as well, which is like a fun action-packed film where it's just explosions everywhere.
Mine is literally any OG Disney film, so like the really old animated musical Disneys that he hates. Well, not hate.
Don't hate them. I just
you
didn't
didn't grow up
on
on them, so you don't like have that connection. But any of those just kind of make me feel like really happy and like a child inside, and I'm just wrapped up in my blanket like yay.
Into the future, movies you're looking forward to. I assume that this just meant this year, but obviously it could mean in the following years. But the main movies I'm looking forward to is Spider-Man Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy, Wonder Woman, Justice League I want to see if it actually works out well, and start the new Star Wars film at the end of the year.
Mine is, I still haven't gone to see it yet. I will. The new Beauty and the Beast, which most people have already watched and everything, so that to me is in the future because I haven't seen it yet. But as well, mine aren't this year. I think they're coming out next year. But Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
Because Incredibles and Deadpool 2. I can't really think of any like more that's coming out that I'm like, oh my god, I need to see it.
And also they're bringing out a new Kingsman film as well in September, which I do want to see as well. If only, what should the remake? I'm not a huge fan of remakes, especially like if you've got like Ghostbusters, Back to the Future. You can't reboot them, you can't remake them, you can only make sequels.
Yeah.
You shouldn't reboot them in my opinion. The two lots of films, well, I'm going to say the one lot is Ghost Rider. I like the Ghost Rider films, but they could have done such a better job without just casting Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. So if they put a lesser known actor in that can do the job role well, because he did it well, it's just the writing was poor to the films. So if they found a decent actor, it could be a really good film.
Again, as well, I don't really like many revamped films, like remakes and stuff like that, but I do like some of the how they're making a lot of obviously the Disney films live action. So I put The Little Mermaid because that was my favourite, Princess one, which is apparently already in the works for I don't know when in the future. So
end of the road, 3 films we will always enjoy. I have hundreds of films that I could always enjoy, but the films that I watch the most, which I'll always enjoy, even though these are trilogies, I'm going to keep them as one film, which is Back to the Future, Star Wars, and Gone in 60 Seconds again, because I love that film. I've watched it plenty of times. I at least watch it once a month, so it's just one of those films.
Yeah, again, I'm going to add another one onto this instead of like just the 3, but Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Just because it's a typical British film and it's the best, and I love zombies. Labyrinth. What's his name?
David Bowie.
David Bowie. That one.
If you wonder why she's looking down,
Yeah.
it's because she's looking down at the DVD trying to see who's on the
A
front.
really, really old DVD. But yeah, Labyrinth, I watched that. I don't know how old I was when I first watched that. My nan put it on for me, and I just kind of watched it and I fell in love with it. Apart from, I don't know what they're called. There's like these fox-looking. That's why I'm scared of foxes. these fox-looking things that can take off their heads and like throw them around and everything. That was terrifying, and they still do. So I enjoy it, but it's kind of creepy with that bit. Tim Burton's Alice again. Tim Burton, and Nightmare Before Christmas again. Tim Burton. So, and Johnny Depp. I love Johnny Depp.
And you could have added Edward Scissorhands as well.
Edward Scissorhands. I could add many of the Disney films.
That's all the questions, that's all 14. We don't know how long this video is, so if you don't want to watch it then, or if you're still here, you know, thank you for watching for this long.
Thanks for putting up with this long.
I can only think of 1 or 2 people to tag.
Yeah.
Just because there's that many people that have done it and we're so behind on doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Which is...
BGG. Even though he's been tagged already, but you get another one. Add it to the list.
Clayton.
Yeah.
And Abe. To see what Abe and Crystal's films would be like, just to see what they're interested in and what ones they've watched in the differences between them. So I think that's the end of the video, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
So I hope you enjoyed that video. Leave it a like if you enjoyed, a comment. We'd like to read your comments, get in on the discussion, ask us questions about the stuff that we've got. If you enjoyed this video, go back, look at the other videos. And if you enjoyed and want to see more content from us, subscribe to us, it's highly appreciated.
Also, don't forget to check out our social media. We have a Facebook page, a Twitter, an Instagram, and also a Snapchat now. So go check those out in the description and maybe around screen.
Yeah, so if you want to get in touch with us on there, we'd like to have conversations with you, and see you in the next one.